welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads, where I am here with a long overdue of another video in my Why You Should Read series. And today we're doing it on none other than author David Baldacci. Long overdue, as I said. I have not done one of these Why You Should Read videos in over a month. When I first launched my channel, Why You Should Read and Deep Dive Character Studies were the series that I did predominantly on here. And it's been over a month since I did my last one, which I believe was on John Sanford. And so I am looking forward to sharing what I learned and researched about Baldacci as an author. So let's dive right into this thing. About Baldacci as an author, he was born in August of 1960 from Richmond, Virginia. He's written over 50 books. 7 of them are YA. He sold over 150 million copies worldwide, and he writes predominantly in the genres of thriller and legal thriller. He's won a couple awards. He's won a Silver Bullet Award in 2008. And no, that is not about Coors Light. And he also won a Literary Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. Some kind of unique, cool facts about Baldacci. His wife, son, and daughter, they reside in Fairfax County, Virginia. He got his law degree from the University of Virginia, and he actually practiced law for 9 years in Washington, D.C., similar to like Grisham almost, and then he switched to writing. His wife, Michelle, helps him run the Wish You Well Foundation, which is also a name of one of the books he wrote. That foundation actually helps fight adult illiteracy in the United States, which I thought was really cool. He also served for over a decade on the Mark Twain House and Museum Board, and in 2018, he donated $1 million to that museum. After his sister, and she's an author, Susan Baldacci, was diagnosed with MS, Baldacci got involved with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and I thought that was fantastic. So he's definitely very active in philanthropy. He's had several of his books adapted into big film and small film, and we'll talk about that. The King and Maxwell series that he wrote. Baldacci also helped write the screenplay for the show King and Maxwell on TNT. He also helped spawn a movie in Absolute Power, which was his first novel, which also, kind of a cool fact, took him 3 years to write. It was adapted to a film in 1997 starring Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman. Absolute Power is one of my favorites. We'll talk about that as well. Wish You Well was a book that Baldacci wrote. Again, it spawned the name of the foundation that they created, but that was, Baldacci helped write the screenplay for that. The Christmas Train, that was adapted by Hallmark in 2017, and One Summer was another book he wrote, which was also adapted by Hallmark in 2021. Baldacci credits his writing from being ingratiated to both the Hardy Boys, Sherlock Holmes, and Agatha Christie as kind of inspirations. Baldacci has 10 existing series that he has written. In my opinion, some of his best are the Camel Club series, the Atlee Pine series, the King and Maxwell series, the Travis Devine series, which I've recently reviewed and did some different collabs with Logan at Novel Insights, and the Amos Decker series, which is also known as the Memory Man series. He's also written 11 standalone books, which I think his standalone books are really good too. He's wrote 4 short stories / novellas, and as I mentioned, 7 YA books. Of the 7 YA books, of those 7, there's 3 series that make up the 7, which I thought was really cool as well. So why read David Baldacci? If you like Grisham, if you like Sanford, if you like William Kruger, if you like Robert Dugani, if you like Michael Connelly, if you like Brad Thor, or you like Harlan Coben, Baldacci's kind of right in that wheelhouse as well. I think where Baldacci stands out as a writer is character development. I think he draws you in with his characters. They're very relatable. I think his writing style is very universal. It's very easy to read. It's very acceptable. You don't get really lost. He doesn't spend an unordered amount of time writing either settings, place, or people. It's all very paced, and it's very averaged out to where you feel like you're reading and things are progressing. I think his emotions are very well done, whether they're direct or indirect in his writing, and I've had several books that really sucked me in and got me emotionally invested in them. I think his pacing is great. I think he can be a little bloated at times. Some of his books can be up there. Most of his books are probably in the 500 page range. Some of them get up in the 600s. But for the most part, they're pretty fast paced. So you don't feel like you're reading a 600 page thriller. And so let's talk about what are the best of Baldacci, in my opinion. Now, out of his 50 books he's written, and the 7 YAs, I've read none of the YA books, so I can't speak to those. Of the 50 books, I've actually read 21 of them. So I feel like I've got a good selection of them. In terms of my opinion, I think the Camel Club series is really good. I think you definitely should read those. I know Logan at Novel Insights would agree with me. He also raves about the Camel Club books. I also think the John Puller series is really good. You have an ex-Army guy. I thought that was really good. I think some of his standalones are really good as well. I think The Winner. I think Absolute Power. I think Saving Faith. I also think Divine Justice is a really, really good one. And The Simple Truth, I think, is a really good one as well. Where to start? Well, if you like series, there's 10 different series to start on. If I had to pick one, I would definitely think the 620 Man series, and I think the Amos Decker or the Memory Man series are really good entries. I also think the Camel Club series is all a really good starting point as well. If you are more in wanting to kind of, well, I might give it a shot and give him one credit on Audible, or I might pick up one used book from him. I really think his standalones are where it's at, and I have to say, the two that I just tote are as my absolute favorites are his first book, Absolute Power. I think it's fantastic about the president, about a corruption. I definitely think you should read that. It's about a guy that's a burglar and gets himself way in over deep, and I think this is a fantastic read. I also think The Winner is definitely the epitome of a thriller, and I think it definitely is one of the great ones. I've read this at least 3 times, and I know I've read Absolute Power at least 3 times. Those two standalones I definitely highly recommend. My overall thoughts about Baldacci, I think he is a fantastic thriller writer. He's one that I think is underrated, even though he's more mainstream. I also think that, as you can tell as I'm amassing some of these used paperbacks, that he is one that I want to get back into reading and reviewing on the channel. I've definitely done that with his 620 Man books recently, as I read all 3 of those, but I want to get into reread the Camel Club and some of his other series as well and review them on the channel, so be on the lookout for that. And that is my take of why you should read David Baldacci as an author. I think he's fantastic, and I think you definitely should give him a shot if you've not read him, especially if you like thrillers. And so I hope you find this helpful, informative, and I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy holidays, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Thanks. 3, 2, 1.